Latest update on Elon taking over Twitter. Will he be successful given the board just voting to implement a poison pill? We actually haven't done too many videos on this topic because I've been traveling a lot. And so right when this stuff first went down with Twitter, I was gone and just can't get into the studio. But the video we recorded was recorded before Elon's latest offer to buy Twitter. And in that video, basically predicted that this was going to happen. And here's that highlight, and here is why. Elon's a busy guy. He cares deeply about these causes, clearly. I think he's dipping his toe into the Twitter water. He's kind of seeing, hey, will the management work with me, right? Are we going to do this the nice way or the hard way? I don't think the nice way is going to work, especially based upon Parag's response, how he's handled the past few weeks since talking to Elon in private, and then particularly his public communications have been abysmal. And it looks like he's just doubling down on what Twitter has been doing and not admitting. First step is admitting, hey, we've got a free speech problem. No sign of that. And I don't know what it's, what else does Elon need to do to wake the guy up? You gotta shake him. You're like, hey, wake up. I don't think it's going to work. He's been there for almost 11 years. Was it going to happen the nice way? I just didn't expect it to happen this fast. Where, the hard way is, well, I'll just buy you and do what I want, which means, Parag, you're going to be out of a job, my friend. So will this acquisition go through? It's absolutely the right thing in terms of why did Elon get involved into this business in the first place? Was to try and bring back Twitter to the core function of a platform business model, to enable free speech, to enable the exchange of ideas and information, and enable creativity, right? And what Twitter has done is gone in the opposite direction, the 1984, the thought police direction, which is to restrict free speech and impose their will upon what you can or cannot say. And even when you restrict certain things, just the fact that you are restricting things and banning people and shadow banning people and, taking tweets down, right? Just like the presence of an overlord that will take punitive action on you for saying things that, you're not physically threatening harm on people. You're just saying things that people disagree with. That's called fascism. That's called what the Chinese, what the Russians, what these communist countries do to their own people. That's not American, right? And that's why Elon is doing this, right? The critics and the tech journalists will like to say that Elon's trying to make money and this and that and try and take pot shots at Elon. This is Elon's latest distraction. These people have no idea what they're talking about. I took a position in Twitter, full disclosure, because I think Elon's serious. Will it get done or not? I don't know. Frankly, it should get done because he's paying a handsome premium over the current share price. And the current share price, right, is already inflated from the mid-30s share price, which is where it was before everyone learning that Elon had taken a stake, right? The only reason it's at, $45 is because everyone learned, oh, Elon's in it. And then that jacked up the price another 20% or so. This is Goldman Sachs analyst rating on Twitter from February of 2022, right? They say have a 12-month price target of $30 a share, right? And at that time it was at 37, 38. So they predicted it to go down and their recommendation was sell it, right? Get out of the stock. So no one was bullish on this company, and rightly so, for all the reasons we've talked about for months, if not years, on this show about the problems that Twitter has and why they are what they are. If you're interested in that, go check out one of many videos we've done on their failure to innovate and horrible leadership and management team, who now one of those horrible members of the management team is now CEO Parag, who was former CTO at Twitter. Nothing's changing, right? It's just the same old, same old. The Twitter board is not addressing reality. And the reality is that the market thinks that this stock doesn't have any growth potential, hence as evidenced by Goldman's, rating on it. But like, just look at their US user base. It's not growing. It's at best case plateaued. And I think Twitter's playing games with those numbers. Their only thing that they say is growing is if their global user, monthly active user count, but you don't make money off of those people. They've completely failed to actually introduce new ways to monetize their audience. Like, they don't know how to innovate. It's just horrible management. And that's what it is. Now they have more of that horrible management at the helm. The guy's been there for over a decade. Why would you expect a different outcome? You needed a change. Why would you promote the guy quarterbacking what you have been doing, which hasn't been working? Which is all indicative that Jack Dorsey was also the wrong CEO. Been talking about that for years. Elliott tried to get him out. They weren't able to. When you recognize that Elon's offering to pay a massive premium when you consider the stock, say, at $37, $38 a share, and he's offering to pay $54 a share, massive premium on the company, or are you going to bet on Parag to go make these changes when the guy has been working on the changes for years under Jack Dorsey and has failed to do it? No, I would take my money. If the board is acting in the shareholders' best interest, the board takes this offer all day long. Now, one of these dumb CNBC analysts says, oh, well, yeah, Elon just, he said he doesn't have the financing lined up to go buy the rest, the other 90% of Twitter. Do these people not understand this is the richest person in the world? Like, you don't think Elon can go figure out how to put enough equity capital into Twitter and then finance however much of it he needs with debt to buy this company? Like, seriously? It's getting interesting. Elon is definitely serious. People of this caliber who are this busy and this powerful don't do these things just because they're bored or they have a distraction. The guy cares deeply about this. His offer to buy them is entirely serious. His offer to buy them is entirely appropriate and reasonable and, a good deal for shareholders, given how badly this company has been mismanaged and how far from their core mission and value proposition they've gotten. And Elon has tried the nice way. It's funny how much, hey, let's do this the nice way, Elon was willing to tolerate was actually like 3 or 4 weeks from when he started to talk to Parag in private. And then we saw how Parag handled this thing. And as we talked about in our last video, completely mishandled it. He's a complete amateur. From preemptively announcing Elon joining the board, amateur, wrong. And then in his statement saying basically, yeah, we don't have any issues, right? Like, not able to have the self-awareness to recognize that you have issues, Twitter. You have a freedom of speech issue. Yeah, but he doesn't say that. He basically says, nope, our plans remain unchanged. We need to stay focused, can't get distracted, right? Like, we aren't doing anything wrong. We don't. Right? He's not admitting to the current state of affairs. So despite Twitter's board today voting to institute a poison pill, basically what a poison pill is it means that if you try and have a hostile takeover where you buy a lot of shares in a company without the board approving it, then the board can allow other people to buy shares at a discounted price, which ultimately makes it more expensive for the acquiring, a kind of activist acquirer to continue to purchase shares, right? Because now other people can buy those same shares at a discount, whereas he, in this case being Elon, has to pay full rack. So, you kind of put these provisions in place to thwart an activist from taking control. I mean, to me, the board is acting in a manner that says, no, we don't want to be acquired at all, as opposed to saying, hey, let's go negotiate, right? Hey, you think it's 54.20, we think it's 60. Okay, maybe you meet at 57, right? Like, no, now they're trying to put in provisions to prevent him from taking it over theoretically at all. More echo chamber, more blinders. They don't want to see the truth. The media doesn't want to see the truth. Twitter doesn't want to see the truth. Elon's going to wake him up to it. I think this will go through. I do. I think it will go through. I don't know how. It may not be this current iteration of it, but Twitter is not a monopoly. You can just buy them if you have a billionaire that cares passionately about American ideals. But you can't go buy Google and Facebook and then do the same thing. It doesn't work that way. So how do you then beat the monopoly? Well, this is certainly a step in the right direction. This being Elon taking over Twitter and injecting some, America into the concoction. If you like this video, definitely go check out the video we did last week on this topic. Go kind of more into the ins and outs about why Elon made this proposition in the first place, why we took it seriously then and take it seriously now, and why we were kind of predicting that the nice way would not work, as we have now seen come true.